Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here, basically, we are discussing about one topic, that is city creation. City creation, basically, we are discussing about one topic, that is accounts creation. In this, basically, we have discussed lots of things. Now, basically, we are going to discuss little bit more few things. In this account, basically, everybody knows that basically there is only one thing, that is tax. Credit is also having tax. Debit is also having tax. Nothing basically. For example, Saudi Arab or basically Dubai basically, or any other country, or basically some Iran, Iraq, India purchase oil, petrols. India basically never gives money basically. Why? Because it's connected with the barter system, and that basically information are there in the accounts basically, but they basically never displays the money. Why? Because it's connected with the barter system of the countries to country. So that is basically one thing. How they display, that basically need to check basically. So another thing basically here is tax basically. Each and everything basically here is connected with the tax only basically. It's connected with the some tax amount basically, you can say. So another person told that, for example, Iran sent something to the India. So India basically doesn't pay the money basically. They basically pay the tax amount basically. And that is in the form of tourism, some visa basically they have issued, some worker basically they issued, some software professionals they issued. So you can just imagine the visa system is also up to what level powerful basically. This is the one way basically. Another way also basically accounts might be maintaining, but mostly basically this will be the way basically, because you can't disclose the amount basically directly into the account basically. So that is also basically tax. Now basically the NASA ISRO group basically say that basically they want this type of energy. So just prepare it basically, they will just tell this only. So their group basically are there. In that basically you can say Oxford group are also basically there. In that basically Wikipedia group is also there. They basically designs everything basically. They designs the software company also basically. For example, software companies already designed, so they basically segregate the projects. So each and every major projects basically, for example, CRM project basically, when it was came into the new into the market, this group basically might have designed basically, and the idea basically might have sent to the each and every software companies, and the project description basically might be sent to the software company. So software company basically does not do anything basically. They don't do anything. For example, any new project came into the market, that is basically checked 100 times. They basically first do the conference, these that basically. This example basically we have already taken. So they do lots of things basically. After that basically it gets into the software company. So software company are basically, you can say, lucky group basically. Lucky group means they are very lucky that basically they are getting directly the data. For example, as in that basically the few software company basically got the CRM project. So this everything basically, whatever things basically the environment basically they are working, that everything is calculated by the software company. So one of the person told that, if you are telling like this basically, then um, how basically they are doing everything basically in home basically. In home basically the company is setting the environment basically. In company basically they have set the environment, but in home basically they can set the environment. And that if they are setting, then basically it's very risky basically. Then basically there are few people basically who only work from home also basically. For that basically it's a special environment create, because they are doing, their income is also basically up to 100 crore 200 crore per month basically. So they are doing every very dangerous stuff basically. So another person told that it's very dangerous basically. So NASA and ISRO basically groups the, they basically decides which company basically gets, and they basically are the people basically. If you say that basically, if they say that basically this person is not supposed to enter into a software company, then whatever you do basically they will not allow you. If they say that basically this person is supposed to enter, then basically whatever you do basically they will allow you basically. The software company will allow. So both side basically are there. NASA and ISRO basically we have already seen, and they basically have account in. So they basically say that we want this energy. For that basically we require the data, and data are software companies projects basically. Health basically we have already taken. Then basically DTT ka tika basically. For example, one person told that due to some personal enemy basically, that child basically had dumped some bad DTT ka tika. Bad DTT ka tika means he was not able to concentrate on his work basically. So they dumped some bad level data. After that basically some doctors tracked that basically that was some but that child basically was very intelligent but not able to perform basically, but somebody tracked him that he is good basically but he is not able to perform. That basically might be some doctors group basically, because each and every doctors basically are watching the education sector basically. Each and every child basically which is in the school inside, they are basically watched by doctors basically. You basically will not able to believe basically, you will not able to believe how basically when basically when school was created, the entire infrastructure basically is data basically are processed by doctors only basically. So they know that basically this is the school, and if you do the study from this school, this type of child basically will get out from the school basically, because the infrastructure is created up to that level. I basically worked from work. I basically was studying in Vidyakun school basically. Then basically I went to government school. Then basically I went to Sri Krishna Vidyalaya, and then basically I went to college basically. That is BCom basically, and then basically I done to private course, AppTech. Then basically I started the career of software professional basically. Then basically I started career team leader basically. I become developer, then basically I become project manager. So currently basically project manager, but currently basically I'm not having the job, so I'm searching the job basically. So one other person told that like this basically the life calculates basically. So one of the person told that this is like that only. Then one of the person told that, do you know basically Sunil, whenever basically you are into the education side na basically, for example you are into 12 basically, or basically you have done the study of 10th, that time certain group basically watches the energy of yours basically. For example you are in 12th, your age basically is 21, your age basically is 21, your entire for example I am basically 21, so like this basically many people basically might be 21 in Vadodara city. I think that that calculation is around 5 lakh basically. So 5 lakh people basically, when basically I was in 21 age, that time 5 lakh people basically was there. So the 5 lakh people's entire human needs process, that is the data process, that is basically corrected by the human needs company basically. That is a nuclear power company, energy company, and power company. They collect the data and they basically do the process for the future data basically. So when you will be going to become 21, that means currently you are 21, so when basically you will be going to become to 24 or 23, that time basically your data is ready basically. So it takes many years basically to do the process, but in between basically somebody dies, that is different topic basically. That data basically they don't have basically. That is totally different topic basically. So you can just imagine basically when the data are, when you get the, for example you are eating some vegetable, that vegetable is processed long year before basically. After that it comes to the market basically. After it comes to the farmers, then basically the farmer gives to us basically, or basically some other chemical industry group basically, because the data which basically the factory companies are having, that data are processed long year before basically. I had taken example when basically I was 21, 23 data was getting processed, 23 years data was getting processed. 23 years means 21 age, 23rd age, 24th age, that age basically. So that data basically was getting processed when I was 21 and the data was getting collected. So you can just imagine, it's a chain basically, it's a huge chaining process basically. And this way only the world has created basically. This way the world has created. So one of the person to the, you are basically when you are 21 in India basically, how many people basically was 21? Assume that it was 12 crore. Just taking as an example. And in world basically it was 121 crore. So it's a huge process. 121 crore people's human needs are basically getting calculated when he will become, when that entire the entire group, it can be girl also, it can be boy also, it can be other group also, that data basically are processed since 21, their age are 21, the 20 when they basically going to become 24, that data are processed basically on the age of 21 only basically. So future data basically are prepared for 121 crore people basically. So nuclear power company, energy company and power company think up to this level basically. So you can just imagine basically. So currently basically whatever things basic, for example currently basically having the water basically. Currently basically I am having the water and my age is 44 basically. So this data basically was processed long before basically. Same way basically each and everything basically doesn't comes day or night basically. Even basically the chemical data, for few people do that basically, potato, to create potato no, basically it's very easy basically. Chemical product are basically available, you just need to process in the factory, that's all basically done. But that chemical data basically how it was prepared basically, it was prepared long before basically by the nuclear power company. So you can just imagine one same potato basically, when you eat basically, your age basically is 44. That same potato basically are eaten by 21 age also people also, 35 age people also. Why? And basically nothing basically happens. Why? Because the data are up to that level prepared, they are processed basically, they are processed. And this everything basically are done by the city creators group, they creates the everything basically. They creates everything. So in next video basically we are going to see little bit more about this topic, that is India account. This everything basically comes into the India account only basically. Just now basically I told what, debit, credit, NASA, ISRO, then basically the healthcare department, then basically the DTT ka tika, that account is also basically available. Then basically the education account, in education basically the future level process data account. So this everything basically comes into the India account only. So in detail basically we are going to discuss little bit more topic in next video.